This is me sending love to the Black community because we love you.
I hate when Asians are so like aggressively anti-Black. Like, your Asian American ass would not be here today if it weren't for the Black community. You do realize that, right? Oh, Annie, what do you mean by that? Their activism has always been inclusive. Their activism has always been inclusive.
You know, I can honestly say that I truly appreciate the Black community and being in support of understanding what the Asian community is going through. Mainly because we don't deserve your kindness. Like, we don't deserve the amount of gratitude, the moral support, the kindness that you have provided us on all levels of platform when it comes to being so relatable. Simply because of all of the racist shit that you guys have endured from our community in its own.
And let's put the age mark gay things issues aside. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to the Black community who's always having our back. You guys know the feeling that we're feeling right now. You guys choose to speak out for us and make us feel like, oh, we're seeing and we're understand. There's people out there that's understanding us. And I always want to take a chance to thank to the Black community, the Black culture, because I spent 2 years of my high school time in Canada with a Black family, and that just directly changed and influenced my whole personality and my life. Because if I spent the first year with a white family, again, no hate, but that's the truth, while I was cooking my own cultural food, they would give me this weird look and saying that, oh, what is that smell? Like, that kind of old Asian weird things. I was 14, so I wasn't aware of that's racism, and I let them always play in front of my face. And I moved into a Black family. The situation just turned totally different. I'm allowed to cook any food that I want, and the food that they cook is just tastes much better. That's not the point. The point is, one day I got a horrible fever. I ended up in the emergency room. The host family mom, she has every reason to not care about me because that's not her duty. She was not my guardian. But I was very little. She chose to stay up with me in the emergency room, up all night, just for taking care of me. That's something that I will never forget. And that's how I started building my connection with the Black community. And now I'm a dancer. I'm learning hip-hop. All of my hip-hop teachers, they were Black. They were telling me the story about hip-hop, the history about hip-hop. And back into that family, they were always talking about back in the day, how do they suffer? Like, how do they get through the suffering? That just inspires me and influences me so much to respect Black culture and Black community. This is a culture that is so strong and influential just because how they get through things and how people stand on their grounds and how people speak up for themselves. And also at the same time taking care of other people. So I really want to take a moment to thank to all Black people that's speaking on this problem, because I think that we shouldn't take it for granted because you guys have every single reason to not help us, but you guys choose to help us.
For decades, many Asian Americans have thrived in the United States, but a few pause to recognize that much of the freedom, opportunity, and civil rights that make that success possible were fought and secured by Black Americans, despite deep-rooted anti-Blackness that many Asian immigrants inherit from their communities. There are countless Black Americans who stood beside them, fought for justice, and made their journey of the American dream possible. But now more Asian Americans are waking up to this reality and acknowledging that standing together with Black Americans is the only way to challenge racism in America.
As an Asian American, I'm often asked, why do I focus so much on the advocacy work of Black Americans? And it is because their advocacy work is always inclusive. The Black civil rights movement did not just benefit Black people, it benefited all marginalized people, and it is the reason why I, as an Asian American, have civil rights. Also, throughout Asian American history, Black Americans have consistently held space for including us in their advocacy work. From the increase in anti-Asian violence in 2020 and 2021, to looking out for Japanese Americans during World War II. Going all the way back to 1869 when Frederick Douglass delivered a speech arguing that Chinese should be allowed to immigrate and become citizens. He didn't only want to advocate for the United States becoming a home for Black and brown people, he said, I want the Asiatic to find a home here in the United States and feel at home here, both for his sake and for ours. Right wrongs, no man. The voice of civilization speaks an unmistakable language against the isolation of families, nations, and races, and pleads for composite nationality as essential to her triumphs. Man is man the world over. This fact is affirmed and admitted in any effort to deny it. The sentiments we exhibit, whether love or hate, confidence or fear, respect or contempt, will always imply a like humanity. If our action shall be in accordance with the principles of justice, liberty, and perfect human equality, no eloquence can adequately portray the greatness and grandeur of the future. My granduncle, who was nicknamed Uncle Abin, was actually named Abraham Lincoln because my great-granduncle was raised in the United States and he respected President Lincoln, whom he had been taught abolished slavery. Of course, he didn't stay in the United States because of the Chinese Exclusion Act, but I have to wonder if he had known about Frederick Douglass's speech, would I instead have had an Uncle Fred? The reason why I, as an Asian American, focus so much on the advocacy work of Black Americans is because theirs is the work that I would like to model mine after.
Hot take, but I think that Asian people and Black people are meant to be friends. We have so many cultural similarities that make it easy to relate to each other. Both cultures got family values, tough ass food, strict ass parents. Oh, and don't get me started on family functions. My homeboys be talking about Black people get turned at the family function. Hey, you haven't seen the Asian family functions though. I'm talking about Viet, Filipino, Kazakh. We go crazy. Hear me out. Every Jackie Chan meets his Chris Tucker. On some real shit, me and my Black friends, we just click. Like if I'm playing R&B in the car, they're gonna be like, yo, pass me the aux. I fuck with anime, they gon' watch it with me. Bro, now that I think of it, there's so many examples of this type of friendship online. Bro, why do you think Kai Cenat and Ray got along so well? K-pop music literally takes inspiration from African American artists. There's way too many similarities.
Do you wanna know why there's a hate between Asian people and Black people? Let me tell you, there's no hate. Asian people love Black people. Do you want to know why Asian Americans just want to be Black all the time? Like, they just want to be cool because we have no representation in the media. You know what I mean? All we got is white people and then Black comedy. That's all we got. Like, we got Bruce Lee from like the 70s. That's all we got. When we finally like some cartoons that people like, it's like Dragon Ball Z, we're like, yeah, this is awesome. Wait, the ultimate form is blonde hair and blue eyes? What the, you know what I mean? So where's the love? Because love is here. Asian people love Black people, so don't forever forget that. Don't ever forget that.
Because even coming from a family of immigrants, like for our family to come here to the States and to either piggyback, hop on, ignoring all of those things and not acknowledging a problem of us being racist to Black Americans, but immigrating from a whole nother country and then just developing a whole racist mindset because of what white Americans have planted is freaking insane. So we don't deserve your guys' kindness. We don't deserve this. So when I say that I'm truly, truly appreciative and I really, really do admire the amount of support that we have been getting, I truly mean it. For a while now, I understood that even for myself, that I have appropriated Black culture, and however that may look, right? As simply as being given permission from some of my Black friends to use the N-word, to talking, dressing, and just really trying to find a way to be actually accepted by the Black community because my own community wouldn't accept me, you know? So when I found a group of people that's willing to accept me for who I am, I wanted to be so relatable that like I pretty much just like pushed myself into appropriating some of the things of your own culture, when in reality the Black community honestly just accepted me for who I was, regardless of whatever it may be. And now that I've been healing from the type of environment that I've grown from, I apologize for ever overstepping any type of boundaries, to ever make it seem like it was ever okay to appropriate anything of the Black community. And that's why I feel like it's so important that we really need to acknowledge that we do not deserve this amount of kindness that the Black community has given us, to support that, like, hey, you know what, we know what you're going through, we are here for you, we understand, because we have done some fucked up shit. And at this point, it doesn't even matter if it's the East Asians, the Southeast Asians. We all took a part of that. Do you know what I'm saying? Even with the divide between East Asians and Southeast Asians, and how Southeast Asians are actually looked upon the East Asians, it doesn't matter at that point, because Overall, we are all one community here in America. You know, in the States, we're one community, which is why it's important that we have to honestly talk about all these things. We have to talk about things that our people have done and hold ourselves accountable so that way we can actually move forward into creating a more unified society. In America, we need to do that. And I'm not also just talking about the Asian community. I'm also noting any other families of immigrants that come here. You guys all understand and know that your families also came here and went along with all of the racism that exists in America, and they went along with it for whatever reason why they did, right? Because we all have our own traumas and we all have a different ways of survival. We all did it. But now in this new society, it is our job to make sure it doesn't get any further than what it has been. This is all of the immigrants. This is the Hispanics. This is the Muslims, Arabs, Jewish, Asians. All of us need to come together and really acknowledge that. For the sake of the future, we have to do that. So for the white people who don't understand, like, you guys need to all inclusively accept accountability for it, because your people were the ones that for generations, hundreds of years, starting from slavery up until now, your families have been teaching generations of racist shit to the point where immigrants come over and they adapt that type of mentality. You have to hold yourself accountable. And unfortunately, yes, you do have to pay for it. You have to hold yourself accountable the same way how the Asian community existing right now needs to be accountable of all the racist shit that we have done too. Because that's the only way to fix that. You need to acknowledge it and you have to put in the work. So as much as you're trying to prove to us that you're not one of those people, you need to prove it to your people why they shouldn't be like that. You don't need to be advocating to us. You don't need to be advocating to any other person of color. You need to advocate it to your own people, because the person who told me if it wasn't for you effing Chinese people because of COVID shutdown, that was 5 years ago. He still exists in this world. He's still planting those little seeds with those little remarks out here in this world from 5 years ago. He didn't go anywhere. He's not like he died. So yes, this conversation has truly evolved into something for me. And I just feel like it would be doing a disservice for someone who's just talking about like the whole Asian market and stuff and not really acknowledging that elephant in the room.
The civil rights movement wasn't just about Black Americans. It was about justice, equality, and freedom for all. Laws that guaranteed voting rights, fair housing, and public accommodation were won through the courage, sweat, and sometimes through the blood of Black Americans. And Asian Americans, like many other immigrants in America, directly benefited from those struggles. The doors that allowed them to come to America and live with dignity were opened because of Black American activism. And this is a truth that we cannot ignore. And yet too often, many immigrant communities are taught to distance themselves from Black people. They are told to stay quiet, work hard, and don't be like Black Americans. Because many are taught that Black Americans are lazy, they are criminals, you see? And this anti-Blackness is passed through generation to generation. This alignment to whiteness has perpetuated systemic racism even when immigrants themselves face discrimination. But here is the truth. Oppression is strongest when we are divided, because the fight for justice and equality has always been about solidarity, not isolation. But today, things are changing. Asian Americans are beginning to wake up to this reality. They are recognizing that their success in America, it is because of the struggle and the civil rights of Black Americans. And the acknowledgement is a first step. True change comes with accountability. And this means confronting anti-Blackness within families and communities, and also rejecting harmful stereotypes and supporting policies and movements that empower Black Americans. And this is not about guilt. It is about justice, truth, and unity. When communities unite, history has shown us that extraordinary progress is possible. So what can we do? First, speak up against anti-Blackness, where it exists. Second, educate your communities about the history and contributions of Black Americans. Third, support policies and initiatives that dismantle systemic racism. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.